You eat Twinkies? I fuck Twinks. We are not the same. Now, those of you who have clicked on this video will know that this video is about Logan Paul. And he has landed himself in hot water, which, if you've been around for long enough, will know that that's not a new thing. Whether it was people accusing him of mistreatment from old friends to people who he employed, he just was not a nice person to them. However, this time, he has managed to essentially bully someone into being quiet. Now, I don't really know the full details. Basically, he's suing a small YouTuber called CoffeeZilla, who I love. He's a small YouTuber. He's got... Why the fuck aren't there any zombies? Never mind, there are. He's not a massive channel compared to Logan Paul, but he's still quite big. There are a lot of fuckers around. But essentially, Logan Paul, the big bad YouTube channel, is bullying the smaller and not defenseless, because he is going to try and fight it, but basically it just seems like bullying to me. And this all started because Logan Paul made a big dum-dum, and he essentially overpromised something that he undersold on. Which, if you don't know, he oversold a crypto project that isn't even here. And he promised it here, I think it was in 2022. And it's not. But the problem came when people started investing in this crypto project. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because he insists that it is coming, which we don't know if it is or not, but we can safely assume that Logan Paul, the person who simultaneously pissed everyone off at the same time a couple years ago, is not the saint that he claims to be, and it's not coming. It's like if you're into edging, this was the world's biggest edge, or YouTube's biggest edge, especially in a long time. But the timeline was, he made a crypto project in 2020, or started to make it, and basically tried to monetize his audience in the way of, he made it look like an investment. He made it look like it was a serious project that he was going to put real time and real effort into. Now, I don't know whether he tried to put real effort and real time into it, because the thing is, it can be done, he just ain't got the fucking brains to do it. Or to try and find the people with the fucking brains to do it. So that's the first problem. He's not smart enough. And the second problem came when I personally think he just gave up. I genuinely think he hit a point where he was like, I don't give a shit. I am going to give up. That's what I think. Now, he announced it in 2020, and then in 2022, that's when the problem started. That was the first release date. I believe that was the first one. I believe that was the first one. However, I'm aware that I can get things wrong, so if people know more than me, feel free to comment. Call me an idiot. I like being degraded. But no. First release date was in 2022. It didn't happen. And then people were not happy, as you can imagine, because it was their livelihood. It was their money. And they were told to invest it, but invest it by a person that they trusted. Now, trusting Logan Paul is quite honestly like trusting meat that's on sale for £1 that was a tenner. Do you know what I mean? It just shouldn't. It should not happen. No matter how smart or dumb you are. But if you're trusting him, you're not that bright. And then in 2022, that's when CoffeeZilla got involved, I do believe. Now, he got involved and started reporting on it ages ago. So if you want all the facts, I'll leave a link to his channel, because he's also getting sued, and I'll talk about that in a minute. What the fuck? I was going to try and get a axe from over there. I'm just going to head back. But anyway, because he's getting sued by Logan Paul, that's what's landed him in this deep water, and that's why I said it feels like bullying. But anyway, he promised that it's not there. That's one problem. There's also 2 other companies under his name which are coming under fire, and to be honest, I think rightfully so. There's one which he announced that essentially he framed it to be, his announcement of that company was very, very weird. If you watch the video of the announcement, which I'll leave in the description, he basically frames that he bought this Pokemon card for 5.3 million or something like that. And then he explains what the company does, which is actually not that bad. It's kind of a cool concept, but it's been misallocating funds. So, you know, the Mafia could be a cool concept, but it doesn't really do the right thing. So he frames this Pokemon card that he bought for 5.3 million. And then he explains that his company sells fractions of assets and lets the original owner keep a certain percentage. So in this specific announcement, he says he's selling 51% of his Pokemon card. Now, that would be fine if he said, if he didn't say, I'm selling 51% of this Pokemon card for 5 million, so you guys get a $300,000 discount. Which, first of all, no one's going to buy 51% of, I think it was either 51 or 49. No one's going to buy 51% of a Pokemon card that they can't hold for 5 million, right? Only you would do that. And second of all, they're paying 5 million for half of the card. They don't get the full thing, which is obvious. But he tries to frame it in a tricky way, and it just the whole thing fucking reeks. It reminds you of that one guy in your gym that has a massive beef with deodorant. It fucking stinks. What it stinks of, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But basically, Logan Paul did a big fat no-no. And on top of that, as far as I'm aware, he has been accused of mistreatment, mainly by a former flatmate who he's called Evan. I can't remember what his actual handle was, but he was called Evan, and he basically said, you know, you slated on me in every video, and it was every day because it was back when he was daily vlogging. And so he basically goes, you slated on me in every video. To which Logan says a half-assed apology, and then it's kind of never brought up again. That's what happens. Whether you want to believe that was the end of it or not, that was the end of it in the public spotlight. Which, to be fair, if you've got an issue with one of your mates, don't do it in public. Or at least not to the extent that these guys were. But equally, Americans just do it differently. Like, genuinely. They will talk about so much shit openly to the point where they have no private life, and they have nothing that's not themselves out there. Now, onto this lawsuit with CoffeeZilla. I'm not going to pledge you to donate to him because that is his job. I'm not gonna do that. But basically, Logan is filing a defamation lawsuit against him when all he's done is basically report facts, and every fact that he's had against Logan, he has had proof for. So I'm not entirely sure whether this case was meant to win, but the fact that there are open videos of Logan complimenting CoffeeZilla and about him giving him credit, and also about him calling the people who lost money on the crypto game victims, rather than I think it was, there was another word that he was using, but essentially Logan stopped calling them victims. He's counter-suing everyone who tried to sue him, and he's also and he's also trying to sue CoffeeZilla. Give me a minute. I think this is the last one. But yeah, essentially, he's counter-suing CoffeeZilla for reporting facts on him, which, if you ask me, will not win. But basically, what it's done is it's bought Logan time to come up with something in his brain that shows that he's still in the right, the game's still coming, and that CoffeeZilla's wrong. Because it shuts CoffeeZilla up, because anything that he says now, publicly in a YouTube video, will be used against him in the face of a jury. So, he can't actually make another video. Shit. He can't actually make another video on his own situation right now. He has to wait until a certain point. And that point being after the lawsuit has found a conclusion. Which is very smart by Logan, but my guess is it's come from someone else. As smart as Logan is in terms of the internet, I don't think he's that bright elsewhere, and he's trying to be something that he's not. Which is why this is called YouTube's worst businessman. Because other than Prime, he's not had a successful business. However, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to compare a person with a person, and that's Logan Paul to Donald Trump. And that's mainly because they will have one successful business, or maybe two, in their life, and they're gonna be billionaires for it. And that's the truth. Logan probably already is a billionaire. And that wouldn't shock me, and I don't think it would shock any of you. But also, I'm choosing Donald Trump to compare Logan to because he has had so many failed businesses, and he's been in and out of the law so many times that it's hard to imagine anyone else being, well, that's pretty cool, being a better comparison for Logan. I can't imagine anyone else. Which might have been why they got on so well on their podcast. But, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. I quite like reporting on certain stuff that's going on in YouTube. Or just kind of in the world at the minute. Mainly because it's fun and I get to do something different. So, the last one went down well. Hopefully this one will as well. And I shall see you guys in a bit. Take care, and peace.